Athletics.
He came over last season, threw some good ball games for Charlie Manuel. A little bit inconsistent since he's worn a Philly uniform. He can be terrific, but he can also be, well, not so terrific. So let's see what we get today from Big Joe.
Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager. We are set to go. Joe Blanton has struggled the majority of this year, much like the rest of the Phillies starting rotation. Although his last start, they're hoping it's something that he can build upon. 6 innings, a 4-hit, 1-run baseball in a victory over the St. Louis Cardinals 5 days ago.
That's a confidence builder. That's a very good hitting crew in St. Louis. So Joe Blanton 5 days later, here we go.
Kelly Johnson looks at ball 1 high, and this game is underway. Bobby Cox putting Johnson back in that leadoff spot. They feel like they need him to get going if the Braves are going to get going. Started the year red hot the first week, and then the wheels fell off. 2-0 pitch popped up short left field. Raul Ibanez, a first-year Philly. Take a look at the numbers for Joe Blanton, who makes his 6th start of the year.
In your sprint pitcher profile, there he is, Joe Blanton. You see the high ERA. What you like there, though, is just 9 walks in the 26 innings. So if you're going to beat Joe Blanton, you're going to beat him with the sticks. And keep an eye on the gun, Tom. And what that means is Charlie Manuel talked to us before the game, and he said if Blanton's fastball is anywhere from 87, 88 miles an hour, that's when he starts to hit the bat. When he can be around 90, as that was grounded to third. 90, 91, he's much better. But his curveball is his out pitch. That's what he's going to try to get most of these Braves with.
And a third note on there, certainly one thing you have to admire about this guy, whether things are going well or not well, he will compete.
Absolutely. He's one of the better competitors in this game. He doesn't care if it's Chipper Jones stepping into the box. He will treat him like anybody else. He'll challenge him. He'll go after him. He fears nobody. They like those kind of guys here in Philly.
Come after you.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
Well, here is Chipper. He looks at a strike on the outside corner. A .296 batter is Jones. Of course, a year ago, he won the National League batting title. Straight away center field, and a good start for Joe Blanton and the Philadelphia Phillies. 1, 2, 3. We'll see Jimmy Rollins to lead things off for the Phils when we return. Taco Bell, think outside the bun. Jimmy Rollins to lead off at short. Shane Victorino in center field with Chase Utley at second base. Ryan Howard, the first baseman and cleanup hitter, with Jason Worth in right, Raul Ibanez in left. Greg Dobbs, a rare start down at third today. Chris Coast behind the plate for Joe Blanton. And on the mound, 2-3 on the year, an ERA a shade over 4. His right-hander Javier Vasquez, you saw him in Arizona.
Seen him in a lot of places. Used to hit against him when he was with Montreal Expos. He's been around a long time now. Had success just about everywhere he's been, Tom. In the sprint pitcher profile, Javier Vasquez. You see the numbers there? A lot of strikeouts, 50 strikeouts already this season. He's got the great stuff. Fastball, curveball, terrific changeup. But hold your breath there means his problem this year when he gives up runs, it's on a hiccup. He'll have one bad inning, one hiccup. Well, how do you cure the hiccups? You hold your breath. Hold your breath, Mr.
Very
Brennan.
nice. Very nice. I was wondering where that came from. Jimmy Rollins slow out of the gate. You know that won't last long. A .211 batter, a home run, 9 runs batted in. That's a scary thing for National League East opponents. Here we are a month into the year. Rollins hasn't gotten going yet the Philadelphia offense, despite playing the fewest number of games in a league at 27, lead the National League in home runs. They're first in slugging percentage, first in runs per game, and third in overall runs scored. These guys can hit. Pulled foul, sounded like he broke his back. He did.
He did. He'll go get some new lumber. And as you said, Tom, there's just not a soft spot in this lineup. They've got a ton of power, obviously. You talk about Ryan Howard, Chase Utley. They've added Raul Ibanez. He's having a terrific start. But they've also got some speed. They can beat you with speed when they're not hitting home runs. The top of their order with Rollins and Shane Victorino.
One thing Charlie Manuel went on and on about today. He said, you know, people don't realize we do have very good team speed. He gave a lot of the credit for the stolen base success ratio to the man who coaches over at first, one of the game's all-time great base stealers, Davey Lopes. He said he pretty much runs our running game. I said, wait a minute now, are there times where all of a sudden you'll have a guy steal a base and you don't know it's coming? He said, yeah.
Absolutely.
He said, it's exactly right. He said, now I'll put on the stop sign every now and again, but a lot of these guys are free to run. Rollins, a lazy fly ball to Jordan Schaefer on a 3-1 pitch, and Rollins retired. Take a look at Atlanta defensively. The rookie Schaefer in center, flanked by the veterans Garrett Anderson and Jeff Rancourt. Chipper Jones and Casey Kochman on the corners. Escobar and Johnson up the middle. And they just got Brian McCann back in the lineup last night. He's been bothered with blurred vision and an infection in his eye. So he is wearing prescription glasses now underneath that catcher's mask.
And speaking of that catcher's mask, that's the old traditional mask. If you look at home plate umpire Mike DeMuro, he's got the more, well, the newfangled hockey goalie type mask. And you see Brian McCann, he's got more the old-fashioned mask. Last night here, Brian McCann was wearing one like Mike DeMuro, the home plate umpire, the hockey goalie style mask. But it was too hot and it really blurred those glasses, so he had to go to the more traditional type here this afternoon.
Pitch taken inside. 2-1 to Shane Victorino.
Yeah. McCann just trying anything to get those glasses right. You know, it's tough to play this game with blurred vision.
Here's a 2-1 pitch, and it's outside. 3-1 for a second straight hitter. McCann had no problems with the eye, his left eye, during spring training. He played for the United States in the World Baseball Classic. No problems there. Then he got to spring training, and all of a sudden there was blurred vision in that left eye. They tried to get contacts in there. That didn't work. So they had to put him on the disabled list and get those specially made glasses. There's a high one hopper to Jones. Victorino among the fastest runners in the game, but he's thrown out. So 2 away by Vasquez, and here's that mask that he wore last night you talked about.
Yeah, that's the hockey goalie style. He wore that last night, but it just was too hot and it steamed up his glasses, and he just couldn't see the pitches coming in. And there you can see he's just been battling.
Those look like the ones you're wearing.
No, he's much better looking than his.
I don't know. I got to tell you, I think they look very much alike. Both very handsome men.
Ah, shucks. He's just been so frustrated.
Now Chase Utley. Missed a couple of games earlier this week with a bruised right foot. Last Friday, got hit by a pitch from Mets right-hander, a hard thrower, Mike Pelfrey. Said he had a bruise on that foot that looked like an egg. And there was no way that Utley was going to miss more than those games. He said, I went right back in there. This guy gets hit all the time. You may remember in 07. Suffered a broken right hand when he was hit by a pitch. Then last year hit a league high 27 times.
He's just so close to the plate. Back foot right on the just about the inside corner, as you can see. And he's just a wall. He doesn't move. Good change up there from Vasquez.
So Vasquez answers Blanton with a perfect opening inning. No score in Philadelphia. More done with Nextel Direct Connect only on the Now Network. And by One A Day Men's, the official multivitamin of MLB, specially formulated to support prostate health. Sold out Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia. No score at the end of one. And Garrett Anderson wearing a uniform different than the Anaheim Angels. Hard to believe.
Seems strange, doesn't it?
Played 2,013 games in his career, every one of them with the Angels. Became the first player to play at least 2,000 games for his original major league club before another since Dwight Evans joined Baltimore in 1991 after playing 19 seasons with the Boston Red Sox.
Amazing. What a great career he had out in Anaheim. One of those guys that, for some reason, Tom, he's just flown under the radar his entire career. Just incredible numbers.
You talked about that career that Anderson put together. You go back to 1995. I mean, that's 14 seasons ago. Only Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez have more hits than Garrett Anderson. Garrett Anderson has the most doubles among all players in Major League Baseball since '95. And he's had 4 seasons where he knocked in 115 or more runs. Here's ball 4. Well, he draws a walk to begin the second inning. Take a look at our umpiring crew today.
Tucson, Arizona native Mike DeMuro calling the balls and strikes.
James Hoy, Dale Scott, the crew chief, and Jerry Meals is down at third. The old Pueblo, Tucson, Arizona. There's ball one low and away to Brian McCann. Returned last night, as we mentioned, from that 15-day disabled list for a left eye infection. Missed 13 games. Knocked in a couple of runs, drew a walk, had a base hit last night.
All of a sudden, Blanton now having trouble throwing strikes.
Blanton pitching against Atlanta for the second time this year. The first time he was lit up. McCann got him in that game for a home run and gets him with a base hit into right field here. So 2 on with nobody out in the Braves' second inning.
Well, what a difference this Atlanta Brave lineup is with Brian McCann and Garrett Anderson healthy and back in the lineup. Chipper Jones really struggled for a while. Bobby Cox couldn't find anybody to hit behind him, so Chipper Jones saw 0 strikes for a couple of weeks. I have a feeling these two, and that is Anderson and McCann, I think they're going to make a huge difference for their star Chipper Jones.
Now Casey Kochman, another former Angel who came over last season in the Mark Teixeira deal. Kochman a good hitter, just not a lot of power. He's behind 0-2, a .310 average, a couple of home runs, 9 runs batted in. I say he doesn't have a lot of power. He has 2 home runs this week, but they're his first 2 home runs since September of last year, and he is gone looking on strikes.
He just took 3 straight strikes, a curveball, a fastball away, and now Blanton just pops it to the inside corner, and that just freezes Kochman. That's a heck of a pitch by Blanton in a big situation.
2 on, now 1 out for Jeff Francoeur. Francoeur trying to get back to the player who first came to the big leagues. This one is hit hard into deep left field, and it's up against the wall. Anderson will score. McCann on his way to third on a run-scoring single by Francoeur. 1-0 Atlanta. He just missed a 3-run home run.
Well, that ball was absolutely tattooed by Jeff Francoeur. Hit it so hard he could only single. Let's take a look. A fastball running in, and Francoeur just cuts it off. I mean, he just leans on it off the top of the wall. Nice play there by Ibanez, getting it back in quickly to Rollins. Anderson scores easily in first and third here with 1 out. Blanton getting hit hard in this inning.
Number 8 hitter, center fielder, and the rookie Jordan Schaefer. Down a strike. On opening night, Schaefer became just the 99th player in the history of Major League Baseball to homer in his first at bat. The 4th Brave to do it. But he has really been struggling after a pretty decent start. Here's that Major League debut right in this ballpark.
That's a long ways for a left-hander to hit a baseball. 415 feet to left center. But since then, the fun's kind of ended for Schaefer. He has really struggled as Major League pitchers adjust to him.
16 strikeouts and now 17 in his last 7 games. Wow. 17 strikeouts in 7 games. Of course, there was a guy named Schmidt that used to strike out a lot as a rookie around here.
No question. This is just a fastball right down the middle. Coast wanted it inside. It went right to the middle. You can see Coast was almost surprised that he was able to catch that ball. Those balls usually get smacked in the gap.
Now Javier Vasquez, 0 for 11 as a batter this season, down a strike. I didn't mean anybody to think I was making the leap of comparing Jordan Schaefer to Mike Schmidt. The point I'm making is that there are rookies, I don't care if you're a power hitter or whether you're a gap hitter, that when you first come in the major leagues, there are some guys that will strike out a lot. Michael Jack Schmidt, the pride of Ohio University.
I knew we'd have to get a Bobcat reference. My partner being also. I thought you were the pride.
Michael Jack is the pride.
Okay, I got you.
And Matt Lauer. There's a rocket down to third, and the inning is over. A leadoff walk comes back to Nip Blanton. It's 1-0 Atlanta, and the big fella will start things in the Philadelphia second, Ryan Howard. Bud Light Lime. The drinkability of Bud Light with the refreshing taste of lime.
You always liked a lime in your Bud Light, didn't you?
And then when you know it, they stole my idea.
Boy, it's just not right.
No, it's not. Ryan Howard to start things for the Phillies. 290 batters, 6 home runs, 22 batted in, and the Braves put on the big defensive shift. Everybody does this against Howard. Of course, you can't put somebody in the stands. Strike one.
And they seem to catch a lot. Anywhere from 40 to 50 a year off the bat. A big number 6.
Howard, as many of you know, is a St. Louis, Missouri native, and that will be where the All-Star game is played this season. Of course, we'll have that game for you right here on Fox, and you know, Howard has naturally made no bones about it. To be able to go back and perhaps have a chance to play in an All-Star game in your hometown, that would be something very special. And wouldn't you know it, he pops it up the other way down the line. And a nice running catch is made by Chipper Jones. Went a long way to get that ball.
And Chipper Jones, a veteran, he got on his horse and made a nice play. He had to go a ton. Still showing some wheels there. That was a fair ball. Yeah, break it down a little bit there, Chipper. Nice play. I don't blame you, Javi. That's a nice play by your third baseman.
Jason Worth. 289, 6 home runs, and 21 runs batted in. Every time I see this guy who's so tall and so lean, I'm always reminded that Worth originally was a #1 draft pick of the Baltimore Orioles back in June of '97 as a catcher. It's hard to believe, isn't it?
When you see a guy tall and wiry, the last thing you think about is a catcher putting the gear on. Not many wiry catchers. Benito Santiago comes to mind. but not many of them.
This guy's 6'5", 212 pounds. That one shot foul. You saw his breakdown, his home numbers and road numbers. Hard to believe this is such a good hitter's park. But last night, Worth clubbed a 2-run home run in the 3rd inning off JoJo Reyes. Philadelphia winning the opening game here last night, helped in large part to a 2-out routine ground ball error charged to Yunel Escobar, which led to 4 unearned runs. Of course, Reyes put himself in a hole by walking the 2 batters after the error.
You got to make the routine play if you're going to play for Bobby Cox. There's a saying in the Braves organization as you're coming up through the system. Is that one shank foul? For instance, if you're down in the minor leagues and maybe you admire a home run for too long, or maybe you don't hustle a ball out, maybe you pop one up and don't hustle. There's a saying in the Braves organization that goes all the way, AAA, AA. Bobby doesn't like that. And when your manager down in the minor leagues tells you Bobby doesn't like that.
Little bleeder in the center field, a base hit.
You better clean up your act, or you will never play for him.
Cole Hamels returned last night.
Yeah, they need him.
Threw the ball well. He had a tender elbow in spring training, and then rolled over an ankle a couple of weeks ago in a start. They kept pushing back his return, and last night was it, and threw the ball well. And like you said, Gracie, they need it.
Philly starters have struggled.
Oh, they struggled.
One reason only that they're playing as well as they are this year, and that is offense. And this guy has led the charge, Raul Ibanez. What a pickup for the Phillies. You think, well, gosh, the Phillies, they didn't really need any more offense. Well, they are glad to have this guy, a professional hitter. Line to line, got some power, drives in big runs.
3 straight years Ibanez has knocked in over 100 runs. Signed as a free agent during the offseason, leaving Seattle. Career .286 hitter. Last 3 years, 123, 105, 110, the RBI total. As you like to say, Gracie, Javier Vasquez knows his name.
And then some. Yeah, he was driving in a lot of runs for a bad Seattle team the last couple of years, which is hard to do. It's hard to bring yourself to put up those kind of numbers when you're just night in and night out getting beat badly.
Ibanez get a 2-run home run off Javier Vasquez back on April the 8th. That was a wild game. The Phillies went on to win after an 8-run 7th inning, 12-11 the final in that one. And this Philadelphia team is more than capable of doing that to a lot of people. There's a little number to Escobar. There's one, and that's a double play to end the inning. 1 hit, nobody left. End of 2. Vasquez and the Braves in front, 1-0. Bell. Well, they've had so much rain here in the Philadelphia area for almost 2 weeks. So they're very excited in this part of the country to see this bright sunshine.
It'll warm up.
Yeah, it's a lovely day. Joe Blanton on the mound. Phillies trailing the Braves 1-0. Top of the order for Bobby Cox's team. Johnson, Escobar, Chipper Jones. Hardy on a fastball is Johnson. We talked about Johnson's first week and how he started the season so well. First 8 games, 10 hits and 30 at bats. But ever since then, he is 9 for 53. Wow. Of course, they pulled him out of the leadoff spot, had Omar Infante in there. He did an excellent job and will still be in there from time to time, trying to ignite this Atlanta offense. But like Bobby Cox said, you know, we really need Johnson to get going. We'll put him back in there and see what happens.
And really, Johnson's in his short career, he's been just as you said, Tom. He's just been very streaky. The good has been really, really good, but the bad has been significantly longer than the good.
Still 1-2 to Johnson, who flied out to left field his first time up. And there's a fastball, the old comebacker. Starts at the left-handed hitter's hip and then just comes back to the inside corner, and that's a third strikeout for Joe Blanton. Our FoxSports.com poll question.
What was that?
Ken Rosenthal reported earlier today here on Fox. Manny Ramirez is eligible to play in the All-Star game. Should Manny Ramirez play in the 09 All-Star game? You can log on to FoxSports.com/MLB to vote.
What do you think? Then I'll tell you what I think. Absolutely not.
One hopper by Escobar, 2 away.
Don't you have to earn your way on the All-Star team?
Absolutely.
I don't think he has.
But you know what? If I were a betting man, and I certainly hope that I'm wrong on this statement, but I think there are enough intelligent baseball fans from coast to coast in this country that will see it the way you see it. But if I were a betting man, I'd bet money he gets voted into the starting lineup.
And I'm not going to argue with you there. And like I said, I hope that fans realize that if he ends up in St. Louis, that somebody very deserving won't be. And that's the shame of it.
Yeah, because the bottom line is his numbers are not going to compare with guys who will play in the number of games that Manny is suspended. Now, 50 games he's going to miss.
Right.
And so there are going to be a lot of guys out there that may never get a chance to play in that game their entire careers. That if Manny's on a team, they don't get a chance. And some can say, well, life's not fair. You know what? You'd be right. It's not fair all the time.
And also just his choice to do what he did, and how bad that is and has become for the game of baseball. Baseball took a huge blow a couple of days ago with that suspension and that news. So in that respect as well.
Lined into left center by Jones, run down by Victorino, and a 1-2-3 third for Blanton. It's 1-0 Atlanta in front.
Big league.
1-0 ball game as the home team comes to bat here in the bottom of the third inning. First pitch swinging, Greg Dobbs lifts it towards left. Garrett Anderson is there. 1 out in the inning. And well, Gracie, you were a great left-handed hitter. I was a tired left-handed hitter. But I mean, take a look at those.
These are nice.
Pink bats. Of course, we're celebrating Mother's Day this weekend. You're a very lucky man. Your mom is still with you.
Yes, very much so. And my sons want me to tell their mother very happy Mother's Day.
Absolutely. And to all the moms out there, happy Mother's Day. I tell you, I learned something when we were coming into Philadelphia and getting ready for the game this week. I am told that Mother's Day was created right here in Philadelphia,
right here,
going back to 1914. And that May the 8th, 1914 was the first Mother's Day celebration. That one shot into left center field off the bat of Chris Coast. And he's in with a 1-out double. Second hit for the Phillies today against Javier Vasquez.
Well, just a fastball in the middle of the zone, and Coast just goes down and rips it out into left center field. By the time Schaefer can run it down, Coast rumbles into second base.
You know, Joe Blanton, he's 1 for 6 so far this season, has 3 sacrifices, but with 1 out in the inning. I mean, Chipper Jones is playing even with the bag at third. Kochman well behind the bag at first, figuring Blanton's just going to swing away with 1 out. Blanton, one of 2 pitchers in the big leagues, accomplished pitchers in the big leagues, to pitch at the University of Kentucky. Of course, the other you've seen since the day he came to the major leagues when you were a teammate of his. National League former Cy Young Award winner Brandon Webb, also a UK Wildcat.
I'll tell you what, it makes me wonder how that team lost very many games.
You're not lying. Two and 1 to Blanton. Phillies trailing 1-0. Atlanta scored in the second on a walk to Garrett Anderson, a single by Brian McCann, and then Anderson scored on a single by Jeff Francoeur. Big swing and a foul tip into the mid of McCann. It's 2-2 on Blanton. He came over last July from the Oakland Athletics. Originally drafted, as we mentioned, by Oakland. That's a foul ball.
Or was it? Okay, Mike DeMuro's called it a foul ball.
Crowd's going to cheer for Joe Blanton. Tell you, he never tried to umpire it. Fans like to see that.
Out, exactly. It's a close play. Chipper Jones comes in and gets it just to the right of the line. And that play, that's the call of the home plate umpire. Until it gets to third base and beyond, it's the home plate umpire's call. So a lot of people were looking at the third base umpire, Jerry Meals. He's like, I don't have it. And Mike DeMuro called it and called it correctly.
2-2 again to Blanton. Breaking ball, and he's hanging around. See the Mets winners earlier today, 10-1. They just took care of the Phillies in back-to-back games, a brief 2-game stop leading up to this weekend series. And from all indications, Johan Santana has never been better than he was that night in a 1-0 win. Some of the hitters in the Phillies lineup saying before the game today they've never seen Santana better. That's not good news.
That is scary
for the National League,
for especially the East, because they see him a lot more often than the others.
3-2 now to Blanton. This is quite an at-bat here for the Philadelphia pitcher, and the crowd appreciates it.
He's a good athlete.
And there's a tapper down to Chipper Jones. Second out of the inning. Coe stays put at second base tonight. NASCAR on Fox goes under the lights in Darlington, South Carolina. Kyle Busch trying to defend his title. Oh, yeah. Coverage of Sprint Cup Series racing from Darlington begins tonight at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific in high definition right here on Fox. So just stay with us all day long. Baseball right into NASCAR and your guy, Kyle Busch.
I've been telling you for a while now, watch out for Kyle Busch at Darlington.
One of the all-time great front runners known to man, Mark Grace.
I come by it honestly,
I mean, ever since he was growing up just outside of Akron, Ohio, you've always said LeBron James is your guy.
That's right. Let's not leave Philadelphia out of it either. I'm a big Phillies fan now. Kobe Bryant.
Well, you've been
out of Lower Merion High School. Yep. Absolutely. My guy.
Two 2-0 to Jimmy Rollins. I remember him being your guy 3 years ago when he won the MVP. Breaking ball, a good one by Vasquez. That's a good 2-0 pitch.
Well, it really is. It takes some guts to throw this 2-0 because you need to throw it for a strike. And sure as the world, he just drops it right in there perfectly because you really want to get Jimmy Rollins if you can while he's cold. You've got Victorino on deck who's hitting .291 coming into the game. Missed with a changeup that time. Vasquez is going to call his catcher, Brian McCann, out and say, hey, what do you think here? You know, Jimmy Rollins is a former MVP, but he hadn't quite found that Jimmy Rollins stroke yet here in early May. Victorino, on the other hand, has had a good start to the season. What do we want to do here? Do we want to get a base open? That's the chess match that is Major League Baseball.
3-1 to Jimmy Rollins, and here it comes for a changeup.
And a beauty. Way out in front of it was Rollins. Take a look at this again. You can see Rollins just knows a fastball is coming. Probably throw him another one right here.
Throw him a breaking ball, and it's popped up into shallow center. Schaefer's got it. That's a great comeback at bat for Vasquez, falling behind 3-1. Still 1-0. Valspar. The beauty goes on by Zantac. Heartburn, attack it. Zantac. And by the new Hyundai Genesis. It all starts with this. Sold out Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, home of the defending world champion Philadelphia Phillies. Right now they're on the short end of a 1-0 game as we begin the 4th inning. Garrett Anderson walked leading off the 2nd and scored the game's only run on a base hit by Jeff Francoeur.
They love playing behind guys like Joe Blanton and Javi Vasquez. They work fast. They throw strikes.
In the air down the right field line towards the corner, and that ball is uncatchable apparently by Jason Worth. He went crashing into that wall. We lost sight of him, and apparently he had a pretty good collision. Let's take a look.
Let's see what we. I got that part right there, right into the small of the back there. It's a dangerous little spot, but he's going to be okay. A little ginger.
Of course, the Phillies were in St. Louis and were witness to the awful collision involving Rick Ankiel, which was just terrible to see. I'm sure many of you at home have seen the replay of it. Running full speed and his head going right into the wall, and had to spend time in the hospital. Thankfully, he's doing all right. This one to left center. Drifting is Victorino, and Anderson retired one away. They caught up with Rich Doobie, the Philadelphia pitching coach, in between innings, and asked him, it looks as though this week the Philadelphia Phillies starting pitching is getting a little bit better.
Well, we're gaining on it. We're just a little bit away from consistency, and it's good to have Cole back there setting the tone for us, and I think it'll help everybody else feed off that.
Joe Blanton throwing the ball very well. He's using his fastball, isn't he?
Well, he's able to get inside to the lefties and bring that two-seamer back, and when he can do that, he can be very effective. He's able to go soft with his curveball or changeup early in counts, and he's been able to get inside on the lefties late in counts.
Rich, thanks so much for the time. Good luck.
All right, thank you, guys.
Good luck. All right. Rich Doobie, in his 8th season in the Philadelphia Phillies organization, his 5th as their pitching coach. Their staff ERA last year 4th best in the National League, 3.8. There's a base hit into center field off the bat of Brian McCann, so he has not skipped a beat. McCann right back in the lineup and right back to hit.
I mean, 2 balls scalded. A fastball in the 2nd inning for a base hit to right, then a changeup. Blanton says, well, I'm not going to throw you another fastball, I'll throw you a changeup. Look how he just waits back, keeps the head right on it, and he didn't just flip at it. I mean, he drove through that ball. You don't swing to the ball, you swing through the ball. And you saw that from McCann.
McCann has been to the All-Star game each of his last 2 seasons after coming up and playing 59 games in 05. I'll never forget that game 2 in the division series in 05. We were there that night at Turner Field. As that one is ripped foul, Brian McCann became the first player in Braves history to hit a home run in his first career postseason at bat. A 3-run shot off Roger Clemens. The only other catcher in the history of baseball to homer in his first postseason is bat. Been a long, long time, since 1913. Fly ball to center. And that is out number 2, and McCann staying at first. Time now for a DirecTV game break. All Mets today against the Pirates in the 4th inning with 2 on and 1 out. David Wright, a base hit to make it 2-0 New York as Luis Castillo scores. And then how hot is Carlos Beltran? A solo home run off Paul Maholm. 10-1 Mets winners today at home. Popped up by Jeff Francoeur, who wants it in short center. Jimmy Rollins called off and gives way to Victorino. Well, a one-out hit by McCann. He is stranded. Still 1-0 Atlanta after 3.5. Out in the last of the fourth inning, trailing 1-0 to Javier Vasquez and the Atlanta Braves. Game 2 of this 3-game weekend series. And one man who will not pitch in this weekend series, kind enough to join us down in the Atlanta dugout. It's been one of the game's great pitchers since coming to the big leagues in 1999 with the Oakland Athletics. Has the 11th best winning percentage in the history of baseball. Tim Hudson. Tim, how you doing?
Good. Guys, how y'all doing?
Doing good. Obviously, last year your season came to an end. You underwent the Tommy John surgery on your right elbow. Tell us all how that's coming along.
You know, things are going well. Things are going well. I actually have finishing up a throwing program at the end of next week, and I'll start getting back on the mound. You know, things are really going really well. In spring training, I was up to about 75 throws off the mound, and there was a built-in break that I just got finished with. So, you know, so far so good. You know, one day closer to pitching.
Soft liner caught by Francoeur, and that keeps Victorino off the base pass to begin the inning.
Absolutely, and you kind of want to do that, Tim, when you're about to face Utley, Howard, and the rest of these Phillies, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, no kidding. I'll tell you what, man, they got some kind of lineup there, over there, and you know, they play the game hard, and that's the reason why they won the World Series last year.
Is there any way, for instance, Chase Utley, obviously, you know, he's going to get you eventually somehow, but is there a way that you pitch him maybe in this situation, nobody on one out? Are you more apt to challenge him, or do you pitch him the same whatever the situation?
Yeah, no, you know, depending on the situation, obviously. You know, right now you're going to want to be aggressive with him. You know, pound the strike zone. You know, he's going to get his hits, he's going to get his knocks. When there's guys in scoring position, you know, that's when you have to start being a little more careful with him. Making pitches, really concentrating on your location, down in the zone. You know, he's a really good hitter, makes adjustments from at bat to at bat. And you know, it's kind of tough when you get that big guy on deck hitting behind him. You know, you can't be too careful with him because you know the guy on deck's going to have a good chance of popping too.
Speaking of that big guy on deck, he's a guy that, yeah, he's going to hit a bunch of home runs, but he'll also strike out a lot, Huddy. Would you rather face a guy like Utley or a guy like Howard?
You know, neither actually, but
that's a good answer.
I like facing guys who have bigger swings, who's going to try to get you for the long one. You know, the guys like Utley, the pure hitters, the good contact guys who know the strike zone, who don't quite swing and miss as much. those are the ones that I don't like facing. If I have a guy out there who's trying to get me, I feel like I got a little better chance to make him swing and miss, a little better chance to, to win. Obviously, he's going to pop you every now and then. You leave one out over the plate, you're going to be getting a new ball from the umpire. But, Chase, man, I tell you what, I've been impressed with him from day one since I've seen him. And, if I'm building a team, he's probably one of the first guys I'm putting on my line.
Yep. It's always funny when you talk to guys. The question, in essence, what Mark just asked you, it's always funny. I think fans sometimes are surprised when they hear pitchers say, well, I mean, you didn't just say it, but, in essence, even going back to the history of the game, and you look through lineups, and guys might say, well, I'd rather face this guy than that guy, even though this guy's the guy that's hitting 50 home runs a year.
Sure. Well, you have baseball guys, man. He's a professional hitter. He does everything right. I mean, he plays second base, Gold Glove second base, runs the bases hard, takes out guys, as second baseman, to break up double plays. He's a guy that's going to go out there and play the game hard. And when it's all said and done, he's going to be a guy that's going to put your team in predicament to score some runs and win some ball games.
Let's talk about your team. I mean, obviously, you're sitting back and watching this Atlanta Braves club. I mean, you guys have been streaky a bit to start this season. You're 3 games under 500. How do you see your club and where it is and where you think it can go?
I like our club a lot. Obviously, I wish we could be a little more consistent offensively. From a pitching standpoint, I think our pitching is done okay so far. I think we're going to pitch a lot better than we have been. We acquired some guys this offseason that are studs. And, Javier, that was a trade that kind of flew under the radar all offseason. But, he's a guy that when we got him, I knew that he was going to be a great addition to the staff. And he's been pitching great for us this year, and he's going to be a lot better. D'Lo, I mean, he's a big game pitcher. He goes out there and just, gives you a chance to win every time. Obviously with Kawakami, he's a guy new to the league. He's still learning the league a little bit. But, I like our team. I like our team. I think our pitching and defense is a lot better than it was last year. We had some tough luck last year with some injuries. So, I think we're going to be a lot better, but I still think we have some improving to do, but, still early.
Chase Utley putting a long at bat. You kind of expect that from him on Vasquez, huh?
Yeah, I tell you, I mean,
drives you nuts, doesn't it?
That's what you get. I hate it. I'll be honest with you.
This will be the 8th pitch of this at bat. Vasquez trying to get him out. The ball driven into deep left field, and this game is tied. I don't know if you could bottle up a better at bat that tells you all you need to know about Chase Utley than that at bat right there.
Pitch number 9. He fouled off some tough pitches, some good fastballs on the corner, some changeups. You name it, Vasquez threw it. Finally, he got something he can handle and drills it out of here to left center. This kid is some kind of strong. That's a changeup. He just stays back. Man, that's impressive.
Yeah, it is.
So a 1-1 game after the solo home run from Utley, his 10th this season. Now, of course, he's had to miss games every now and again, especially earlier this week, as we mentioned, with that bruise on his foot. Only Albert Pujols, what a start he's off to, has more home runs than Chase Utley. Tim Hudson kind enough to join us from the Atlanta Braves dugout. Tim, I was kidding Mark Grace about being one of the all-time great front runners in the history of sports.
Oh, I am.
But I mean, speaking of front running, I'm not sure in a game overloaded with stats that there is a more mind-boggling stat to me than when in your career you have been given a lead of 3 runs or more. I mean, so your team can score theoretically 3 runs in the first inning. And your career record is 105 wins against 2 losses. Can you remember the 2 losses?
Did you know about that stat?
No, I've heard it here and there. I'm not sure. Really, I don't even know if that's true.
You don't blow leads, brother. That's the bottom line.
Well, I'll tell you, man, whenever I know runs, when you get a nice lead as a starting pitcher, you feel like you can go out there and just be aggressive and pitch your ball game. And you know, and that's what you do. You know, when you go out there and just be aggressive in the strike zone as a starting pitcher when you get that lead, you know, you just want to go out there and be aggressive and let those guys on that other team know that, you know what, here it comes, hit it. Let those guys behind me make the plays. Try to make those guys behind me look as good as I can, making plays behind me. And you know, it's I've been fortunate to play on some teams that can give me some runs early and give me a little bit of a lead.
All right, now I'm gonna now, because I know in this part, or in the southern part of the country, I mean, it's SEC football morning, noon, and night.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how in the world is Tommy Tuberville not still coaching at your alma mater?
You know, that's a good question.
I don't mean to throw you in front of the bus here, but I mean,
yeah,
he did a pretty good job down there.
He done an outstanding job. You know, I was a big fan of Tommy. You know, he ran a great program for a lot of years at Auburn. Ran a clean program, won a lot of games, beat Alabama.
There you go. That's the most important thing,
more
right?
times than most. And you know, obviously, you know, the SEC, it's tough. You know, it's a tough conference to coach football in nowadays. There's some great coaches in the SEC. You know,
do you go to games every now and again?
Yeah, you know, I do. I try to make a couple a year. You know, Auburn has been very good to me and my family, and I look forward to going there every year. And, you know, I'm actually moving there. I'm building a house in Auburn. So,
good.
Yeah. So it's it's a great place, great football city, great football you know, conference, and you know, Auburn. I think they're going to be on the way back. Yeah, they had a tough year last year, but you know, Tommy Tuberville was great. He's going to be a great coach for somebody in the future, I'm sure.
All right, my friend. Well, thanks for taking the time to join us today. Get well. We'll look forward to seeing you on the mound here on Fox at the end of this summer.
I can't wait either.
Look forward to it. Thanks.
Good luck, Huddy. And maybe give that headset to a hitter. I'm tired of talking all this pitching. You guys are killing me.
Hey, man, I can hit a little bit too, man.
Attaboy. That's what I want to hear. Nice going.
Thanks, Ed.
There's strike 3 called, and Jason Worth didn't like it. But Chase Utley, club's home run number 10, shooting it to left center field to tie this game at 1. Good one so far. There's a bunt attempt on the first pitch to Jordan Schaefer. Schaefer struck out his first time up. 1 run, 3 hits for Atlanta. The Braves have stranded 3. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. for the Fightin' Phils here in Philadelphia.
Good idea there by Schaefer. Struggling to get base hits. He's got great speed. Try to drop a bunt, make something happen, put some pressure on the defense. Now you can see he's fighting himself a little bit. Upset with himself. Got a good pitch to hit there. A fastball down the middle. And fouled it back. You can see how disgusted he was with himself.
Hit hard. But the nimble big fella down there, stumbling over to the bag, and he's able to get there in time. That's a nice play by Howard.
Hard hit ball. Ryan Howard lost 22 pounds over the offseason, Tom. And he's still hitting the ball out of the ballpark, still driving in runs, but that's where it's made the biggest difference on the defensive side of the ball. I like that. Get that microphone dirty.
Strike one to Javier Vasquez. That's the way you used to pick him up down there, winning all those gold gloves you had out in the Arizona desert. Swung on and missed.
And unfortunately, it took me about 4 seasons to hit as many home runs as Ryan did in one.
That one looped down the left field line, and that is a fair ball into the corner. And Javier Vasquez has his first hit of the season, and this is 13th at bat of the year. That's a double.
He gets a favor here from Blanton. Something slow and something in the middle of the plate. He just flips it down the left field line, and all of a sudden now the lineup turns over and the Braves are back in business. Well, if you can just be a threat or be a tough out, boy, what a difference that makes as a pitcher in the National League. Be a good bunter. Help yourself.
Well, now Kelly Johnson 0 for 2. Big swing and a miss is flat out to left and struck out. One to Kelly Johnson. A one-out double by the pitcher Javier Vasquez. He represents a lead run. And a fastball is down and into Johnson. Two and two. Johnson, a .286 batter with runners in scoring position so far this season. And the Braves as a team have been pretty good in these situations. They're just under 300. Among the National League leaders, in fact, number 2. And they do it again.
Right on cue.
Hooked into right field, a base hit by Johnson. That'll score Vasquez. Throwing to second base is not in time. So consecutive doubles from the 9 and 1 spots in the batting order give Atlanta a 2-1 lead here in the 5th.
And we had just talked about it. The pitcher doing his job, being a threat. With a double and then another breaking ball that stays up in the zone, and Kelly Johnson just goes down and smokes it down the right field line. Work does a good job of cutting it off, but Kelly Johnson can fly and he gets into second base as well. So 2 hanging breaking balls have gotten Joe Blanton in trouble.
Yunel Escobar has twice bounced out to the third baseman Greg Dobbs. Strike one. Good fastball there on the outside corner. Escobar has something to say to Mike DeMuro, the home plate umpire.
It's going to be a short conversation because that was a perfectly executed fastball right to the outside corner.
Johnson breaks a 1-1 tie with a double. Blanton trying to go back to that outside corner and missed it to even the count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. Escobar is swinging a good bat right now. Over the last 2 weeks, been a .333 hitter. He leads all National Leaguers hitting with runners in scoring position. And this ball is blasted into left center field by Escobar, and it is gone. Yunel Escobar, the National League's leading hitter, when you put runners at second and or third, and he hammers a 2-run home run to the left center field seats. A 3-run fifth for the Braves off Blanton to take a 3-run lead.
Well, it's not how you hit, it is when you hit, Tom Brenneman. And Yunel Escobar just put somebody out in scoring position. Change up, not a bad pitch. It was down in the zone. That's where you want those change-ups. But Escobar just blasted into the left center bleachers. Way out of here.
So it all started with a 1-out double by Javier Vasquez, the pitcher. And 2 batters later, it's a 3-run lead for Atlanta. Chipper Jones is twice flied out to Shane Victorino in center field. The home run ball has absolutely killed this Philadelphia Phillies pitching staff. I mean, just, it's staggering. They have hit the most home runs in the National League, have the Phillies, 40. They have allowed the most home runs in Major League Baseball.
Oh, look at that beautiful swing, the head right down. Blanton bounces right back, and he catches Chipper Jones looking.
Well, we talk about it every single week, but Fox Sports is so proud to support the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's research. The Michael J. Fox Foundation's goal is to drive the development of better treatments and a cure for Parkinson's disease. Some of you have certainly been affected by that. To learn more, please visit michaeljfox.org. Been very honored to be a part of that organization this summer. And we vote on that, on the different sports, baseball, NASCAR, the NFL, and the BCS. And our baseball charity, Fox Sports, supports the Michael J. Fox Foundation. To finish that thought about these Phillies, I mean, to give you an idea, they are on pace to allow the most home runs per 9 innings of any team in the history of Major League Baseball, ever.
Goodness.
They have allowed 52 home runs. And today, the Philadelphia Phillies are playing in their 28th game. And I got to tell you, it's not by a little bit that they're leading, or at least on pace. Should be noted, the number 2 team on pace, this year's version of the Baltimore Orioles. But the Detroit Tigers of 1996 allowed 1.5 home runs per 9 innings. This Phillies bunch is allowing almost 2 per 9 innings. And Escobar certainly adds to that total with a 2-run home run in the 5th, a 3-run 5th, and a 4-1 Atlanta lead. The bunt. Well, Javier Vasquez now staked to a 3-run lead as the Phillies bat here in the bottom of the 5th, which certainly puts back into focus the conversation we had with Tim Hudson a moment ago. And just to give you an idea, I mean, it doesn't matter whether it's a 3-run lead in the 1st inning or a 3-run lead in the 7th inning. To think that 107 times in Tim Hudson's career, his team has given him a 3-run lead. 105 of those 107, he won the game.
Victories.
That's amazing.
He won the game, not a reliever in that game. He got the win.
I can't believe that stat.
That's when we looked at him. That's why I asked him. I said, "Did you know that stat?" And he said, "Yeah, I've heard about it because it is unheard of."
Raul Ibanez to lead things off. He bounced into a double play. His only at bat against Vasquez. 2-2 will be followed by Greg Dobbs and Chris Coast. Only 3 hits for this high-octane Philadelphia offense thus far, including the Utley home run in the 4th. Johnson will wait on Kochman. 1 away. Now, Gracie,
yes,
you won, what, 3, 4 Gold Gloves?
4, thank you.
Okay. Now, to play like that, walk us through as a first baseman when you know to go get that ball or when to let that ball go and a second baseman handle it. How do you know that?
Well, first of all, it starts with communication. You also have to know before the ball is hit. Okay, if you're Kochman, you're looking over at Kelly Johnson, you're seeing, okay, he's playing him to pull, or you're thinking, oh, he's shading him up the middle. So you know, now you take that false step and you realize, oh no, he's on the pull side, he can get to that ball. And it's much easier for you to go to the bag and let the second baseman make the play and hit you than it is for you to get the ball and hit a moving target, which would be the pitcher. So he made the right decision there.
Off the end of the bat. Over to get it is Schaefer, and that'll retire Dobbs. Quickly 2 away.
If you're Bobby Cox, you are loving what Vasquez is doing here after a 3-run inning, 2 quick outs.
Time now for a DirecTV game break. Bottom of the 2nd inning of Los Angeles. 2 out, 2 on. Juan Pierre, the forgotten Juan Pierre, who's replacing Manny Ramirez now. Doubles to knock in 2. Pierre, after the error by Aaron Rowan, is standing at 3rd, and the Dodgers lead the Giants 4-0 in the 5th inning at Dodger Stadium.
The new left fielder, Juan Pierre.
Beautiful breaking ball by Vasquez. A strike to Coast, who doubled the left center field his first at bat.
And Coast he is spring loaded. Watch him uncoil as this pitch comes.
A lot going on there in that swing.
Many moving parts right there in Coast's at bat.
Get a look ahead of next week on Fox Saturday Baseball. Swing and a miss. That ball went in the dirt, so McCann has to flip it down to Kochman, and that will end the inning. A perfect inning for Vasquez. 5 innings in the book. Braves in front 4-1. to destroy the world. Enjoy. By Craftsman. There's a Craftsman in all of us. And by Kentucky Grilled Chicken. Get a 2-piece meal for just $3.99 and unthink KFC. You've always been quite the handyman around the house, haven't you? A Craftsman in all of us?
No. I got to be honest. When something, that was a sharp ground ball to the nifty Ryan Howard. He takes it himself. But when things go haywire around the Grace household, I've got all the numbers to call.
Brian McCann, our Fox sound to the game the first time he reached first base today.
Dude, I feel like I've been off all year long, dude. My first 41 at-bats, I was miserable.
Then you come back here.
I could probably, dude, opening night, man, I literally, my left eye was like done for.
And still hit 2 bombs.
The day
What are you supposed to say to that when the big fella says, yeah, he still hit 2 bombs? I don't want to hear about it.
My left eye was done, but that also shows you, Tom, just how much these players know about each other. Ryan Howard knew Brian McCann hit 2 home runs on opening day. That was over a month ago. But Ryan Howard still knew it. That's what interested me the most about it. It's just mutual respect.
Jeff Francoeur shanks one off to the first base side. Francoeur has not gotten back. He's made nice steps. I mean, at batting average right around 290. He's got 18 runs batted in. He swung the bat much better with runners in scoring position, but not hitting the ball yet with the authority we saw a couple of years ago. Trying to work his way back there. 1-2-3-6 for Blanton. Still 4-1 Atlanta.
Hitting the ball in the sweet spot. That is absolute perfect barrel contact. Right on the sweet spot. The head stays down perfectly and the ball just jumps. When you hit it on that part of the bat, and he does it a lot.
Nice pickup there by Chipper Jones on a sharply hit ball by Joe Blanton. 1 pitch and 1 out to begin the bottom of the 6th inning.
Tell you what, Chipper's made a few nice plays down there today. In between hop, the backhand side, and the perfect throw across the diamond. Made it look easy.
As Chipper's made a couple of mistakes, defensive miscues this season that he admittedly after games has come out and said, you know, I blew it for us today. You always got to admire that in a player, a guy who just look in the mirror and say it is what it is. You used to do that back in your playing days.
I also remember guys that when they pitched really well, they'd be the first guys to stick around and answer all the questions the media had, and gladly. And if they got kicked around, they were like the road runner. Beep, beep, bow, they were out of there. and you notice that. You know, teammates expect you to be a stand-up guy. You know what? If you're going to be there with and love all the praise that's going to be heaped on you, you know what? In the down times too, let's see what kind of a man you are.
And that goes not only individually but collectively. I think that's the one thing maybe a lot of fans out there perhaps aren't familiar with. But you know, if you become one of those guys as a team leader, Jimmy Rollins would fit this bill, for example, of the Phillies. If the Phillies are going great, Rollins might not be the star that night, and the press will want to talk to somebody else.
Right.
But when things are not going well for the Philadelphia Phillies, the press expects somebody down there that they can talk to every night. And when you're the team leader, you've got to be that guy that has to answer those questions, even if you went for 4, but your team's lost 12 out of 13 games. And Rollins certainly is every bit that guy for the Phillies. You were that guy with the Cubs. Chipper that guy with Atlanta. We're talking about leaders now in a different sense. Major League Baseball and People magazine are looking for individuals who have made a difference in their community. 30 everyday All-Stars are going to be honored at the 2009 All-Star Game in St. Louis. If you'd like to nominate someone, please go to People All-Stars. That's one word. PeopleAllStars.com. That is going to be a wonderful part of our All-Star Game coverage right here on Fox from St. Louis. Chipper down on one knee, and a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the 7th. 4-1 Braves back after a break from your local Fox station. Alongside Mark Grace and our entire Fox crew, Tom Brenneman back at Citizens Bank Park. Well, these two pitchers on a pretty good roll here today. One pitch, one out as Jordan Schaefer rounds out to Chase Utley, and now the two primary participants will face one another. I mean, Blanton just made a bad 3-batter run in the 5th inning when he allowed a double to Vasquez, an RBI double by Johnson, the home run by Escobar, and Vasquez has gotten stronger and better as this game has gone on.
Well, both sides, and I talked about it earlier, Tom. As a player, you love playing behind pitchers like Joe Blanton and Javier Vasquez. They are working fast. They're throwing strikes. You're staying on your toes. There hasn't been an error in this game. It's no surprise when you've got guys that are really crisp and working quickly. Chipper Jones just made 2 stellar plays because he's on his toes, expecting the ball to be thrown for a strike and expecting it to be hit.
Vasquez with that double to start that 3-run rally. There's a high one hopper down to Dobbs. 2 away in the inning. Let's take a look at the in-game box score for the Atlanta Braves, brought to you by Hyundai, who introduces the all-new 306 horsepower real wheel drive Hyundai Genesis Coupe. Ryan McCann, a couple of hits, his 2nd game back, but the big blow right now, the 2-run home run by Escobar to stretch a 1-run lead to a 3-run lead. I think it's so cool how they do those cars driving in, you know. I mean, is anybody besides me every now and again, and I rarely ever watch TV, but does everybody wonder who the guys are or the women are that come up with that thing that can make that happen on TV? I mean, it's pretty cool stuff, you know.
People much smarter than us, Tom.
No kidding.
Trust me. That's a great stat right there, as that one just fouled down the first base line. 22 of 28 batters Joe Blanton has faced, he has gotten ahead. Boy, you love that if you're Charlie Manuel, Rich Doobie, and anybody playing behind Joe Blanton. And as you said, just a bad 3-batter stretch has been the difference this afternoon. You're still fascinated over those sound effects of cars, aren't you?
I know, yeah. Lined into center field, and Victorino leaps up to get it, and that will end the inning. I'm going to ponder that while everybody else stretches around here. Sponsored by Cadouette. By AT&T, your world delivered. And by Carfax, free at your used car dealer. Just say, show me the Carfax. Meat of the order coming up for the Phillies. Last of the 7th inning. Javier Vasquez on top of his game today. He's allowed the home run to Utley, 2 other base hits through the front 6. He has not walked a batter in fan 4.
Now this is the inning right here for Javi Vasquez and the Braves.
There is activity in the Atlanta bullpen for the first time today. Eric O'Flaherty and Peter Moylan. O'Flaherty to southpaw.
Bobby Cox knows it's been that one hiccup for Javier Vasquez. That one tough inning, so he's got his bullpen ready just in case.
And you and I have seen Vasquez so many times through the years, and it's, you know, oftentimes it'll be just like this, where he's on a roll, showing no signs of having any problems whatsoever. You don't have anybody getting loose. I mean, this could be in the 2nd or 3rd or 4th or 5th inning, and then the next thing you know, there's the bases are loaded with nobody out. And you don't even have time to get anybody loose enough to come in and bail him out.
And it happens, it's happened in the past in about the matter of 6 or 7 pitches. It's just all of a sudden, whoa, what happened?
And it should be noted, I mean, we're talking about Javier Vasquez is the only active major league pitcher that has won at least 10 games, made 30 or more starts, struck out 150 or more batters in 9 consecutive years. This guy is extremely durable. He has stayed healthy throughout his entire career. And as Gracie mentioned earlier, has great stuff. I mean, over his prior 11 years in the big leagues, he has the 3rd most strikeouts, the 4th most starts, has thrown the 5th most innings.
We talk about durability. Pitch number 90, 9-0 coming right now.
This is a big out on a 3-1 pitch to start the inning. That first batter retired. And we take a look now at the Hyundai in-game box score for the Phillies. Quiet all around. Only 3 base hits. And really not a lot of hard hit balls.
No, not really. Utley with the opposite field home run. But really hardly threatened at all as Javi Vasquez. So impressive against a very good Philly lineup.
Hyundai introduces the all-new 306 horsepower rear-wheel drive. It's called the Hyundai Genesis Coupe. Check it out at your Hyundai dealer. Ball 1 to Ryan Howard, who was fouled out to Chipper Jones. Popped up. That was actually in fair territory when he caught it, I beg your pardon. And then Howard struck out in the 4th. Chipper's back to the position which he came up originally, basically playing at the shortstop position with his shift put on for Ryan Howard. And a lazy fly ball will be the 2nd out of the inning. Well, Pepsi, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball, congratulates. Go ahead, Gracie. You're a front runner.
Well, I'd like to congratulate my guy, Zach Greinke.
The fans have
Pepsi
voted him
Clutch Performer.
Yep, April's MLB Clutch Performer, presented by Pepsi. Look at those numbers.
How about that? That is ridiculous. Well, he's been flying under the radar pitching in Kansas City. How about Kansas City, how well they're playing? That's good for baseball to have guys like Zach Greinke.
Learn more about the MLB Clutch Performer of the Month award at PepsiClutch.com. Indeed, the Royals have been one of the real surprises the early part of this season. 6 games over 500, sitting atop the American League Central Division with a 2-game lead over Detroit. Now, those numbers you just saw were in April. It should be noted
exactly
that he went out in May, in the first start in May, dominated again through another shutout.
Complete game shutout. Yeah, he's not going 6 and 7. He's going 9. And meanwhile, Javier Vasquez is just mowing through the meat of the order here. Utley, Howard, and now Worth 1 and 2.
And the 45,339, part of this sellout crowd, silenced here tonight by Javier Vasquez. 5 strikeouts, no walks. Go to the 8th, 4-1 Atlanta.
Blow the whole thing.
That's what Ryan Howard said. That's what he got. And our replay shows he did get a changeup down the middle. First pitch ground out by Escobar, meanwhile, to begin the 8th with Atlanta leading 4-1. But, you know, that's, and Ryan knows it. I mean, that's part of the game, both as a pitcher and a hitter. You know that, Mark Grace. I mean, there's sometimes you get that pitch, you miss it. You hammer it, and other times you just don't get it.
And it's pitches like this, folks. This is these pitches right there. That's where games are won and lost, right there. If you take care of those pitches, you know, like that. Chipper just took care of it, got a base hit on a ball in the middle of the plate. You don't make your living as a hitter hitting balls on the outside corner at the knees. You make your living on the mistakes, the fastballs or the changeups or the sliders right down the middle. And the days that you hammer those pitches are the days you win, and when you don't, you lose. That's where the games are won and lost, on those pitches right there, and that's why Ryan Howard was really lamenting that situation.
And the same thing can be said when you're the guy on the mound. If you're Vasquez, there will be nights when those pitches are hitting the second deck in this ballpark. There are other days you get away with it. That ball is crushed. Cut right into the glove of Jason Worth. Well, Garrett Anderson, I don't know if he can hit a ball any harder than that. Goodness gracious.
This is a ball, folks, right down the middle. Take a look. Trust me, it was, and he creamed it. He just hit it right at Jason Worth out there in right field. But that's what you're supposed to do with balls down the middle, and usually Ryan Howard does hit that ball into the second deck. But on a day like today, when Javier Vasquez has got it working, you know, it's his day.
Two down. Runner at first, and here's Brian McCann. Been a good day for him. Second day back in the lineup. Returned last night. Knocked in a couple of runs. 2 for 3 today. Phillies will be glad when Chipper Jones gets out of town, even though the Phillies have dominated the Braves in recent years. Chipper has a hit now in 29 straight games against Philadelphia pitching. Of course, he's hurt a lot of people.
Yes, he has. Future Hall of Famer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no question.
No doubt. Of course, you'll get some of those out there that'll tell you, well, he didn't do this and he didn't do that. A fly ball in the deep right center field. Victorino at the wall, and that's in the seats. Welcome back, Brian McCann. 4 RBIs in his first 2 games off the disabled list. And now that lead swells to 5. It is a 6-1 ball game.
Well, the ball really carrying today. McCann hit this ball well, but it didn't sound like he hit it this well. The wind is blowing out to right center field. A breaking ball. He just goes down and gets it. And it sailed about 5 rows deep out in right center field.
Well, some of these newer ballparks, this one opened in 04. I mean, you don't want to use the word laughable because, I mean, guys earn their hits and they earn their home runs. But there are some ballparks that, if you're a pitcher, you just got to say to yourself, I mean,
they're too small.
What do I have to do? And the two that certainly come to mind in the National League would be Philadelphia and Cincinnati. Those are the 2 primary parks. You take Coors out of the mix, although the Humidors limited the offense there. The most homer-friendly ballpark in Major League Baseball by far is U.S. Cellular in Chicago. Our Hulu game summary brought to you by Hulu, an evil plot to destroy the world.
I wonder what that evil plot is.
I don't know what it is.
Kind of scares me.
Worries me too. Utley the home run to tie the game. Escobar made it a 3-run lead. McCann now makes it a 5-run lead. Vasquez is still in the game.
He's got some breathing room now thanks to McCann. And at the end of the day, Joe Blanton's going to give up at least 6 earned runs. But boy, he's pitched a lot better than that.
Yep. Check swing and a miss by Kochman, and that will end the inning. 5 strikeouts for Blanton. His day is over. His spot to a 4th here in the inning. McCann homers with a man aboard to make it 6-1 Atlanta. By DirecTV, if you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. And by Just for Men, stay in the game with Just for Men hair color. Javier Vasquez going to work on Raul Ibanez. Greg Dobbs and Chris Coast here in the Philadelphia 8th inning. Vasquez has retired 11 consecutive batters since the home run he surrendered to Utley with 1 out in the 4th inning. 3 base runners all day long for the Phillies. A single by Worth in the 2nd. That was erased on a double play. A double in the 3rd by Coast. And then the home run in the 4th by Utley. That's it. 2-1 to Ibanez.
The Phillies running out of outs here, Tom. They got 6 left. We got a lot of work to do, and Javi Vasquez looks as strong as he did in the 1st inning.
In the air, foul territory, and that's out of play. Vasquez has 21 complete games in his career. His last one came July the 3rd last season, pitching for the White Sox against the Oakland Athletics. Should be noted, Vasquez has not beaten the Philadelphia Phillies. Not beaten this team since 2003, pitching in for Montreal.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, I mean, to be fair,
he was in the American League.
He was in the American League for a while with Arizona.
The White Sox.
Yep, for a little while. Three and 2 on Ibanez. Rifled foul. Well, this season, you at home can use Twitter to stay connected to Fox Baseball. Receive alerts to original video and columns posted at foxsports.com. Backstage photos, insights from guys like Mark Grace.
Doggone right.
As we tweet throughout the week. Follow us at twitter.com/MLB on Fox.
I had some big league tweets today.
You did?
Oh, yeah.
Well, for those that missed out, you want to give us like a highlight? I mean, for example, what?
Well, for instance.
Rolled out of the hay act?
Well, no. No. But I gave an update on the weather, for instance.
It's nice. People want to know. 8th pitch of this at bat coming. There'll be a night.
Spoke about the pink bat, the Mother's Day pink bat.
You know, of all of our MLB on Fox announcers, you are the closest thing to the Mick Jagger of the group. That
Wait,
I mean, that is unquestionably the most popular Twitter site would be that of Mark Grace. I mean, you know, with all due respect to Tim McCarver, Aaron Karros, and Joe Buck. There's a drive into right field, and that brings Philadelphia a run closer. Raul Ibanez, team high, along with Utley, 23 runs batted in. That's his 9th home run.
Well, what an addition he is making to an already terrific offensive ball club. You know, and to Javier Vasquez's credit, he had a 5-run lead, a 3-2 count. He just said, heck with it. Here, I'm not going to walk you. You're going to have to earn it. Well, Ibanez earned it all right into the 2nd deck.
That makes it a 4-run game. Nobody out here in the 8th inning, and Greg Dobbs, the batter, is fly to left, fly to center. Coast on deck, then a pinch hitter for Joe Blanton.
Pitch number 108 coming right now. And a dandy it was. Got to the fastball in the inside corner. That's called hitting it on the screws. That ball was killed.
Foul tipped into the mid of McCann. 1-2 on Dow.
Still plenty of fastball from Vasquez. That was 92 miles an hour there. Well, that was a good change up there. Dipped out of the zone late. Dobbs did a good job just to lay off of it.
Two and two to Dobbs. Struck him out bottom, fell out of that pitch. Go back to our internet poll question. So many of you, we understand somewhere around 81,000 have voted. Should Manny Ramirez play in the 2009 All-Star game? You can log on and vote at foxsports.com/MLB to vote. 82% of you say no. He should not play in the All-Star game. Be interesting to see what that vote looks like, as fan balloting has begun around Major League Baseball to vote for the starters for both the National and American League All-Star teams. Manny is on the ballot, as reported by Ken Rosenthal before the game today, and his suspension of 50 games would be well over by the time the All-Star game comes around in July.
And there's probably still many baseball fans in this that maybe don't know about it yet. You know, maybe they just aren't. Maybe they've been out of the country, or maybe whatever it is, they haven't gotten that news. And they're probably inking Manny as we speak.
The Phillies will get a look at the Dodgers. Their only trip into Philadelphia this season. And Manny Ramirez will not be here for it. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Barely getting a piece on a good breaking ball is Coast. Javier Vasquez.
Twirling a gem as we speak.
He is a 4-hitter. He's allowed a pair of solo home runs. Utley in the 4th. Ibanez here in the 8th. Back-to-back strikeouts since the home run. That gives him 7 in the game. Don't forget, coming up tonight, right here on Fox, it's NASCAR on Fox. From Darlington, South Carolina, Gracie's guy, Kyle Busch. The defending champion. Coverage of Sprint Cup Series racing from Darlington is tonight at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, of course, in high def, right here on Fox. And Bobby Cox apparently going to come get Javier Vasquez.
Well, what a job he did here this afternoon.
What a great effort by Vasquez. He leads 4 outs from a win. O'Flaherty to take over. This guy has had an outstanding career, and today allows just a total of 4 hits, 2 runs against, I don't even think it's arguable, the best offensive club. Certainly this side of the Mississippi. You know, some out in Dodger land when they had Manny Ramirez out there would say that's a better offensive team. But Eric O'Flaherty, claimed off waivers from Seattle, takes over. He's had a nice start to his Atlanta Braves career after a dreadful spring. And he is facing Pedro Feliz. They had Eric Bruntlett in the on-deck circle. And when the left-hander was brought on, they have brought on Feliz. I don't think Bruntlett was announced. We're told Matt Stairs was announced as a pinch hitter, so he's no longer available.
Tough day for Stairs.
Yeah.
Go up to pinch hit. Well, they're making a change. Come on back. Your day is officially done.
Pedro Feliz is back to playing pretty well again this season. Charlie Manuel was saying before the game, this guy didn't tell anybody how bad his back was during last season. Charlie said, you know, maybe I should have picked up on it earlier. He said Pedro wasn't talking to anybody. He'd come back after playing in the field or after striking out. He had a poor offensive year. Feliz has been a pretty decent offensive player going back to his days originally with the Giants. And he just didn't tell anybody about the bad back. Well, he's taken care of that, and so far this year hitting at .309 with a couple of home runs and 18 batted in.
He's always been a guy that got big hits for the Giants. Now the Phillies got some huge hits last year down the stretch.
Back up through the middle. Johnson with time. Little sloppy there and still got the out. A home run by Ibanez makes it a 4-run game, but Atlanta, as we head for the ninth, in front 6-2. Just as the Phillies all-time hold leaders, led by Real Cormier, kept their team in the game. You too can stay in the game with just for man a hair color. Look at J.C. Romero back. In a couple of weeks from now, Scott Air now takes over on the mound. appearing in his 13th game. There's a jam shot roller by Francoeur, and 1 pitch and 1 out for Air, who just went through a bad stretch today of 8 hitters. Outside of that, he's thrown the ball pretty well this season. Pedro Feliz takes over at third base. Here's another guy who, when healthy, he has had a solid major league career.
And who is that?
Scott Air.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's a guy that for the Giants for many, many years under both Dusty Baker and Felipe Alou. And the Giants were, right there in the hunt for the NL West title, along with, in those days, pretty much Arizona, and towards the tail end, the Dodgers.
Yeah, he used to be a hard thrower with the hard slider. Now his father time catches up. Not as hard as he used to throw, but still got the good breaking ball, and you saw it right there.
Jordan Schaefer is 0 for 3 in the game. Two and 0 to Schaefer. Fastball is on the outside corner. Javier Vasquez, a story here today. 7 2/3 innings of 4-hit, 2-run baseball. Did not walk a batter, while fanning 7, including the final 2 batters that he faced in the game.
No nonsense right there. Just a fastball right down the middle. Here it is, Jordan Schaefer. What are you going to do? It was fouled back. And when you're struggling at the plate, those are the ones you foul back. Those mistakes. But he's young. He'll get it.
Got another pitch to hit right there and fouled it back. Of course, the start of this season, the first week of this season, some sad news began here in Philadelphia, and then just recently this week with the passing of Danny Ozark. Ozark, the Phillies manager from 1973 through 1979. Boy, did he have some unbelievable years. In 76 and 77, the Phillies won a franchise record 101 games. Their problem in those days for Danny was, you had the big red machine on the front end and the start of that nice Dodger run on the back end, or they would have won a World Series. In 76, he was a Sporting News Manager of the Year, and he sadly passed away at 85 years young. Third most wins as a manager in Philadelphia Phillies history, behind Gene Mauch and Harry Wright. And of course, you see the patches being worn on the Phillies jerseys, HK, the initials, a great legendary voice of the Philadelphia Phillies since 1971. Our dear friend Harry Kalas. That ball in the air to right center field, and that will roll to the track before it's cut off, and Schaefer in with a 1-out double. Harry Kalas started his broadcasting career with the Houston Colt 45s in 1963. Of course, his voice became the narrator of the NFL films in 1975. They had a wonderful memorial service held at Citizens Bank Park on the 18th. Casket was right behind home plate and in the dugout. We understand the idea of Shane Victorino to hang at
the blazer,
blue blazer, and the white shoes that Harry used to wear regularly. What a great guy he was. I mean, for so many of us, and this is my 22nd year announcing baseball now in the major leagues, and had the great fortune of being around the game as a kid. I mean, I think I've known Harry Kalas for 35 years. I mean, what a great guy. And his partner there is the one I always think of the two together, because I got to tell you, Richie Ashburn, I don't know if I've ever met a funnier guy in my life than Whitey. His sense of humor was unlike anybody I've ever met, and those two just seemed like they were joined at the hip. You didn't feel like you were ever around one without the other. And then when Whitey passed away, inevitably, every time you saw Harry, you talk with him about Whitey and how much you missed him. And now we all so very much miss Harry. And our thoughts and prayers are extended. And condolences to all the fans in Philadelphia who had a great fortune to listen to him on a nightly basis. His family.
And Tom, I was very fortunate to have him call quite a few of my at-bats. And I'm the lucky one for it.
Today's the first day that you and I have been back here. Or since I've been back here. You were back last week, I beg your pardon. And well, no, you were not. You were down in Atlanta last week. I'm sorry. And to come in this ballpark, of course, it would feel even like something more was missing if they were still at Veterans Stadium, because that's where you really, for so many of us and so many of you got to know Harry Kalas was at the Vet. And now in this ballpark, as there's ball 4 to Martin Prado. So they're in a little bit of trouble with 1 out. But you just keep waiting for him to kind of come strolling around the corner, wearing that blazer.
Singing High Hopes.
All right, here's a leadoff man, Kelly Johnson. And Johnson looks at the ball. Air is allowed a double and a walk after retiring Francoeur to start the inning. Atlanta with a 4-run lead, trying to add to it.
What was a pretty crisp ball game. Scott Ayers come on and kind of put a wrench in that engine. Working very slowly, walking people, falling behind.
Well, we told you Ayers has had a game already this year where he came in, walk, home run, walk, home run, walk, out of the game. And there's a strike. But oftentimes a reliever's ERA can be so grossly misleading. All it takes is one outing like that. When you're a guy as Chad Durbin gets loose in the pen, when you're a guy that's brought on to face a lefty here every now and again, working an inning or 2/3 or 1/3 of an inning, it'll take you 4 months to get that ERA down.
You have an outing where you give up 5 in an inning or something to that effect. Yeah, if you're a short reliever, you know, a guy that comes into maybe a 1/3 or 2/3. Oh, that's a dent in your ERA that, like you said, it's going to stay there. And if you're lucky, it'll stay there just 2 months.
Took a high hop to Howard. He'll throw to second for 1, and they will not throw to first. Johnson runs pretty well. Rollins thought they had another runner and a rundown right there, but that was the guy that was out at second base. Jimmy went chasing after him, thinking we're going to get a double play.
I don't know what Jimmy was doing there, but you already got him out there, Jimmy. There's a new rule. It's called a force out.
He had me buying it.
Me too. Unless he thought he was not on the base. Let's see. The throw was pretty good. Let's see if Jimmy was. Yeah, there's the force out. Prado. Jimmy's like, hey, wait a minute. Jimmy's still not convinced.
All right, well, now you have Yunel Escobar, who's hit a 2-run home run in the game, is only hit in 4 at-bats. He'll step in there with runners on the corners and 2 out. Phillies have a top of the order due up in the bottom of the 9th inning. Like to stay within quote-unquote slam range. There's ball 1.
Well, this is where Escobar shines, with runners in scoring position.
Well, you like seeing that from your young guys, don't you, Gracie?
Guys that don't tighten up in the big situation. They crave these situations. They don't fear them. This is where you make your money, Tom, as a baseball player, as a hitter. The world's full of guys that can get plenty of hits with the bases empty. But the guys that make the money in this game, they hit in these situations.
We told you Escobar, the #1 hitter in the National League, batting with runners in scoring position. But he will be retired this time on a roller to Utner.
We killed him.
They did. Sorry.
I'm blaming you for that one, Tom.
How do you say sorry in Spanish?
Lo siento, Yunel.
Mike Gonzalez will come on in the ninth. Presented by Taco Bell. Bottom of the ninth inning from Philadelphia. The home team will send up the top of the order against the Atlanta closer, though not a save situation. Mike Gonzalez has come all the way back from basically missing almost 2 full years with arm trouble. And he's thrown the ball very well by and large this season.
He'll be rocking. I love this.
Well, watching this guy makes me nervous.
There is a lot going on before he pitches. He's rocking. He's rocking. Okay, here we go.
Rollins takes inside, and it's 3-0.
Pitches from the far, far third base side of the rubber. He'll rock. There's a strike. Always had great stuff, Tom. Always a hard thrower is Mike Gonzalez. But just terrible arm injuries in his career. Strike 2. He's back healthy and saving ball games for Bobby Cox and the Braves.
3-2 to Rollins. And it's strike 3 called on the inside corner. No argument from Rollins. Again, a reminder, coming up at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific in high definition here on Fox. NASCAR Under the Lights from Darlington, South Carolina. Our coverage of Sprint Cup Series racing begins in 55 minutes from right now. Well, in honor of Mother's Day, we'd like to thank all the moms out there and wish everybody a happy Mother's Day tomorrow. Guys, do not drop the ball tomorrow.
Do not.
I don't care what you have to do right now. You better get moving.
Sharon Grace, I love you.
Here's a 1-1 pitch from Gonzalez. Making ball in. And in honor of that, when we thank all the folks on our crew. We're thanking their moms tonight. The producer of today's game is Sydney Gowan. The director is Nancy Tipton. Our associate director, Mary Jane Hunt. Judy Wagner, our broadcast associate. There's a fly ball in the left field. Our technical producer is Ruth Drexler, and the technical director, Rosalind Tucker. The senior producer of Fox Sports, and these are the men. Bill Brown. Executive producers are David Hill and Ed Gorham. And all the moms out there, for all you do.
Bless your hearts.
Amen to that. Now down to their final out is Philadelphia. Chase Utley has one of just the 4 hits in the game, and his hit in 3 at-bats was a home run to left center back in the 4th inning.
And Mike Gonzalez, another guy, Tom, that anymore kind of a dying breed, a closer that still throws from the windup. You rarely see it anymore.
Well, you're not lying. I can't think of any other closer that does. They used to.
Yeah, remember Goose Gossage always winding up?
Raleigh Fingers.
Raleigh Fingers. I think the first guy that I remember was Suter. Bruce Suter was the first guy that I remember just always came from the stretch. And then now, just about 100% of them do.
That ball driven into left center field on the run and unable to get there is Jordan Schaefer. That'll be a 2-out double for Chase Utley. His second hit today.
Tom Brenneman, that boy right there can just hit. I mean, that boy can hit. This is a very tough left-handed pitcher in Mike Gonzalez. You think Chase Utley cares? Bang! High fastball. Squares it up beautifully off the left center field wall for a double. He doesn't care if you're left-handed, right-handed. You throw an octopus out there, he'll smash one off of him.
Well, he faced a guy with that nickname for a long time.
That's right.
Ball one to Ryan Howard. Antonio Alfonseca.
He had the 6 digits on his
each hand and
hands
each foot.
And feet. Yeah,
right.
They called him pulpo, which is the octopus in Spanish. So yeah, you're right. He probably has had an octopus before. Oh man, Alfonseca, pulpo.
He's still throwing hard somewhere, I bet you.
I'll bet he is.
Well, Philly's down to their final out, but they're down by 4 runs. Ryan Howard today 0 for 3. And this should do it from short right field. And that's that. Johnson throws out Howard. Javier Vasquez, Eric O'Flaherty.